Happy day 23. Let's do a flow with a resistance band. So you'll need a long band. It can be helpful to have knots or loops for handles. And then we'll come and lie down. And you want a little space side to side as you lay down. Take your resistance band up into your arch of your left foot. And at the center of the band, you cross it in front of your shin. And then hold the band in each hand so that you're kind of looping your left foot in place. And then draw your elbows towards the floor so your arms just kind of become like weights to hold your left foot up in space. And then the right foot can have a little stability pushing down. You might scoot it a little bit out from under your knee just to give you some space. And then we'll just kind of slowly start to trace circles with your left foot on the ceiling. And these could stay pretty small. Keep your lower back on the floor, your pelvis steady, the back of your neck long, and then you can start to trace a little bit of a bigger circle. And my, hands kind of move a little bit with the direction of the leg movement is just fine. And then go ahead and circle back in the other direction. So just starting to move the head of your left femur around in your hip joint. Good. Okay, and then pausing at center, just see how far can you take your left foot out to the left. You have the option of reaching the right leg straight. And you also have the option of pulling on the right hand. So I'm pulling on the band and reaching my right elbow straight for a little more support, tension, and just that feeling of left foot, right hand reaching apart from each other. And then lifting, coming back to center, I rebend my elbow. And then you have the option of taking your leg to the left, your left leg to the right as far as you'd like, maybe rolling to your outer right hip. And then you have the option from here to extend the left elbow straight. So you can't quite see me doing it, but I'm just reaching my left hand and left foot apart from each other, just to feel that sense of, twisting in both directions, the pelvis twisting to the right as your chest twists back open to the left. And then coming back to center. Good. And then take just a little mini Shavasana between sides. So even your hips with your shoulders and just notice the two sides of your body and two sides. For me, there's like a two-sidedness to the breathing at this point after working for a bit on the left. And then we'll balance ourselves out with continuing this work on the right now. So you'll take the band into your right foot and center the band on your foot. I like to just open it up a little bit more if it scrunched up. And then crisscross the band in front of your shin and hold on to the band with opposite hand. And again, I usually like my left foot just a little scooted out so I have space. And then as you're ready, stabilize your lower back against the floor and start to circle your foot. And you can start pretty small and then just make your way into a bigger range of motion. Keeping your lower back again stable, so this requires some core stability, intra-abdominal pressure here. One more big circle in this direction. And then let's reverse and take the opposite direction. Good. Okay, and then pausing here at center, you could stretch your left leg out long and reach your right leg open to the right, and then resist and pull your left arm open to the left. So as the left elbow straightens, it increases a little bit the support, right, the tension on the resistance band to help support the hold of your right leg up, and then also just that feeling of width from your internal body out through your limbs. So right leg reaching rightward, left arm reaching leftward. And then notice the quality of your breathing here. And then strong right hip to lift you out. And then you just take your time as you're ready to take your right leg over to the left for the twist. And you can pause at any point. Maybe you're rolling to your outer hip and getting your pelvis perpendicular to the floor, lengthening your right hip towards your bottom of the mat. And then option to extend your right arm straight so that you have this feeling of your limbs pulling apart from each other. Breathe. Be long in the twist. Hand and foot reaching apart from each other. One more breath. And then we'll come back up. Very good. Okay, taking a moment to center your hips with your shoulders, reach both legs out long, and then just hold the resistance band at, roughly shoulder width, and reach it up to the ceiling. And as you reach up, let your rib cage rest down against the floor, and pull just a bit out on the band, and then reach your arms up and overhead. And keep your rib cage stable against the floor, so your arms may not get all the way to the floor, have more, prioritizing a sense of reach and length, and moving from more of a pure shoulder movement rather than a back bend through the rib cage. And then pulling out on the band to lift your arms up and back down by your sides. Good. From here, we'll do one more thing laying down. So you bend your knees, band becomes like a seat belt across your lap, and then hold your hands down against the floor. Make your feet heavy, and then bridge straight up into the band. And you're kind of equally pulling the hands down and bridging the hips up. Lengthen your tailbone towards your knees, lift your chest, and just see how high can you lift your hips into this resistance of the band. Good. And then lowering down, we can maybe do a couple with one foot on the floor, or you can keep both feet on the floor. So hovering the left knee just up and towards your chest, push the right foot down and bridge up and lower down. And then do maybe 3 to 5 more on this side. Really accentuate your big toe heavy, bridging up into this resistance, trying to balance your 2 hip points. And then we'll switch left foot down, right foot left, excuse me. And then bridging up into the resistance. Is this side different than the first side? Just be curious there. It's a lot harder for me to balance my hips here. Maybe one more on this side. And then let's do one more with both feet on the floor. Feels a little easier in a way. Okay, and then release. Stretch the legs out long, reach your band up to the ceiling, and one more time, reach it up and overhead. And as you pull out on it, your hands might be a little wider than shoulder width. That's just fine. Reach the arms out, the legs long. One more breath. Good. Okay, and then we'll release. Bend your knees, roll to your side, and we'll come and sit up. Let's take a downward facing dog next. So you'll come to all fours and get a good strong pressure into the pads of your fingertips, lift up into your upper back, and then reach up and back for downward dog. Good. Bend your knees, walk your hands and feet together, and then just take your time. Feet parallel, you can roll up through your spine or come up with a long back and sweep your arms up overhead. Inhale. And then bring your hands down in front of your heart. Take another breath in. And relax your hands by your sides. Good. So we'll continue to use the resistance band and do a little mini flow. So for this, you may want yoga blocks behind your feet for triangle pose. And I like these variations because in a way it helps support us in the pose. So you'll take your resistance band and loop it around the center of the band around your right arch, and then we'll hold both sides of the band into the right hand and step your feet wide apart. You're kicking your right heel a bit back and turning the whole left leg open. And then just kind of feel that tension on the band, holding you upright. And for me, this kind of helps feel that balance of the pelvis level with the floor to start with. And then we'll reach the left arm up and out at a high diagonal. So it's kind of like from the pull of the right band, you're lengthening the left arm up and away. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, you're tipping from your pelvis, staying long through the left side body. And then you can take your left hand down to whatever height you'd like. So the band is intentionally helping us to lengthen the underside of the torso in this variation, maintaining a little more stability through the spine than maybe we're able to find without this resistance work. So left femur is drawing back into your hip joint, tailbone's wide to the right, right leg strong, and then with some stability through your front abdominal wall, you can rotate the breastbone open. And gaze is wherever feels good for you here today. Good. And we're going to go straight to side angle from this pose. So go real slow in the transition. You'll soften your left knee to come towards the lunge, and then float your left hand up in front of your left leg and pass the bands, the knotted bands, into your left hand. And then the recoil is kind of pulling you deeper into the pose. Can you keep the left waist long even as this tips you deeper into the pose? Left hand towards right foot, and then right arm can come up to frame the face or reach up to the ceiling. Grow long through right side body, but staying with that work of the length in the left as well that we found from the triangle pose. Good. One more breath. And then reaching up with your right arm, get some weight back into the right foot, and we come up and out. From here, we'll turn the 2 feet parallel, and I like the feet just a little bit narrower in stance for me. And then for this one, I like the band pretty taut to start with. So I kind of scrunch it up into my hand. We're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana and then come into a twist from there. So move a block in front of you if you need a block in front of you, and then tipping forward from the pelvis. Right hand could be on your hip. And as you come down, the left hand can support you against the floor or hover in the air. And the left hand is being recoiled towards the right foot, and the right arm can reach up and open to the ceiling, or your hand could stay on your hip. Good. Resist your right heel down and out to the right, stabilizing pelvis to the left. And then retwist through the spine, open to the right. One more breath. And then you can de-rotate. I like to just let go of the band and come back up. Good. Toe heel the feet together. Stepping out of the band, and then we'll put it on the left foot to our second side. So just taking your time to step into the band here on your left foot, center of the band, and both sides of the band into your left hand, and then turning into triangle pose to the right. So left heel kicks back, right leg turns out, and the right arm can reach up at this diagonal line. So resisting left heel down, right arm lifting, exhale to tip from your pelvis, and go slow. Enjoy, see how much you can kind of lengthen and spread your right side body out over the right leg into this pose. And then right hand comes down at whatever height you'd like to support yourself. Right femur draws back into the hip joint. tailbone wide to the left. Your left leg is firm, spine is extending, and just feel how, this is naturally going to hold you a little higher in the pose potentially than you sometimes go, and exaggerate the extension and length up through the spine as we work under the tension, under the resistance of the band here. How's your breathing? Where do you feel your breathing? Maybe a little bit more than you sometimes can in this pose. And then we'll soften the right knee. And from here, as you're ready, you float the right hand on the inside of your right leg and then pass the bands into your right hand. And the right hand's being pulled towards your left foot to deepen you into the lunge, into this big hip work happening in the front leg. And as you're ready, you can circle the left arm up and overhead to frame your face. Good, breathe. Find that reach down through the back heel, up through your arm, feeling that length all along your left side body. And then just seeing if you can pull a little bit on the band, resisting your arm against your inner leg to help you come into the twist. Good. Okay, left arm reaches up, left foot gets heavy, and we stand back up. 2 feet parallel to each other. I always need a little narrower stride. You can shorten the band slightly, wadding it, balling it up into your hand, and then we'll tip forward from the pelvis. And as you tip, turning to the left this time, hand can support you against the floor blocks, right arm can circle up or reach open to the ceiling, or left hand could stay on your hip as well. Resist your left heel back, down, and out to the left to help stabilize the pelvis to the right. 2 arms are reaching apart from each other. Good, inhale. And then turning down, you can let go of the band. You want to stay here for a moment, you could reach the arms out long. And then just as you're ready, coming back up, and take your time to step off the band. Very nice. Okay, let's move our props out of the way and come back to downward facing dog. And just feel the extension, the reach up through your pelvis here. Length through your side body. And then taking your time to come down. And just come into a comfortable seat, or rest in child's pose for a couple breaths. Okay, thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.